So great. Now I want to switch over to the other gentleman here. That was a wonderful story.
Oh, I could rant about for 2 more hours.
If I went without an AC for more than 2 days, I'd be murdering people
well,
in the streets.
Well, and the bullshit thing is
it'd be Mad Max Fury Road all the way down.
They don't consider it an emergency until you have 3 consecutive days of over 100-degree weather.
That's so you're dead.
I'll say this though. Everyone I know who owns a home, every summer their air conditioning completely goes out, and they're like, "We had to spend $2,000." It's the one thing that I'm really happy about renting still, because my air conditioning always goes out once a year, and they have to fix it that day.
So the first night we were in our house, our ceiling fan tried to catch fire. So that should have been my omen. That home ownership was not for me.
I think our audience might have missed it just a second ago, but that's the first time you've ever called me a gentleman before. You said the other gentleman in the room, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
I was implying that Taylor was the man. Okay. If you want to go with that one too. Okay. So, wow, can y'all hear that? Some of the construction and the motorcycles and everything. I'm just wondering if people at home can hear that.
Well, and I'm sure they can reply to you as well. Well, they ask the question.
They do have the live chat room, which we encourage people to use as they're watching the show, which I never monitor, so I don't have any idea if people are ever talking to us. And you can also call in. I forget that we don't have the phones set up yet.
It's not working yet.
Okay, so thank you, Matt.
You can call my cell phone and I'll
That's
talk
right.
to you.
And you know what? We've had people do that.
Yeah, just text us and we'll be really quiet.
Yeah, Matt, go ahead and read out your personal cell phone number so people can text during the show. So we do have live tweeting during the show. It's true. So let's get on to the other. You both
I'm another man.
I want to hear what's going on with some of these projects. I saw what y'all did again, like I said, on the 24-hour film festival.
Right.
And y'all's is by far, hands down,
thank you,
the best. So much so that I'm going to go drop $1,000 to go buy Black Magic now because the quality really seemed worth it.
Well, then you got to do the Black Magic. Then you have to get the speed booster, and then you have to get the lens. And the speed booster and the lens cost more than the camera.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah, that's where they get you.
Yeah, that is. But
it's like leveling up in real life.
Yeah, the speed booster was worth it. But you know what? I appreciate the kind comments about the movie. I'm happy with it. But honestly, I really don't think we're as good as a music video that makes no sense with.
Yeah, that was a little. I was surprised because that one didn't look terrible, but I felt like it also didn't follow the rules.
And you know, I hate to talk bad about them, but I'm going to.
Too late.
I've done the competition 3 years now, and I've lost to them every single time.
Oh, man.
And they always place in the top 1 or 2, and they always do something like that where it's something non sequitur, and they'll just throw in like one line that doesn't even. It's kind of like
it's the line you're required to use, but they throw it in as a non sequitur almost.
Right. It has nothing to do with the theme. They don't do the theme.
Right.
And it's kind of like a teaching assistant in college. You know, where they'll just go through your writing and say, oh, well, he used this word and this word and this word. And if you use a synonym, they don't get it because they're just trying to find that metric.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's frustrating. And stop me from. I don't know if you were there, but when I first got there and I was talking to the writers, I went out of my way and said, guys, we could make the best movie, but it's not going to win. I'll just tell you right now. That they don't like really well-produced stuff, apparently, because every time I've seen something that's really well-produced, it doesn't win.
Well, to be fair, every one of those was your film, so you are a little biased.
No, there are others that were really well-produced that didn't get the top, but...
What do you think is their criteria? What do you think they're looking for?
People they know.
We're trying to do a comedy show in here. Keep it down.
People they know, and I think they want something that
was a lovely assassination
kind of
ladies outside the door.
You know, something that can distract them.
Right.
Which is why I'm glad we went with something not as convoluted as the first couple of drafts that we came up with. But yeah, I liked it. It was fun. It was a good time a good way of spending a Saturday.
So what do you have any upcoming projects?
Well, I produce on the show called Eye Opener TV.
Okay.
It's nationally syndicated. In Dallas, it's on CW33 Monday through Friday, 5 through 8 a.m. Then we have a best of the week on Saturday morning. I produce on that show.
5 a.m. that you speak about?
I don't know. I've been doing this show for almost 3 years now, and I'm still not. I don't even have to get in as early as everybody, like the live side, because I do pre-produced content, and I'm still not used to it. Like I'm dead by the end of the day.
I would never get used to something like that.
No, I have to get up at like 5:30, which again, it's not 2 a.m. like our host, but it's still early, and I'm not used to it. Besides that, I'm shooting a music video later this afternoon. a rap video in Arlington. I've got
rap video in Arlington.
I know we're gonna be working on something coming up, and then I've got hopefully something else that I'll be shooting in August that may or might not be a 23-minute pilot.
Very nice.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, I mean, are you? I want to get clarification on this because I know a little bit of the business. So, pilot is a term for the first episode of something,
right?
But it's also a person who flies airplanes that you could literally be shooting him.
Yeah, I will.
Or her. I mean, I want to be fair.
I'm gonna find Sully. No,
literally, I'm gonna be shooting a pilot, and then that shows up on the news at 9 p.m. tonight.
You're on a list now.
Aaron Stranger firing at pilots.
I know. No.
Can you tell us anything about the pilot?
It's something that a friend and I wrote back in college that started out as a comic book, and then right before my first kid was born, I started doing it as an animated thing, and I got the whole thing recorded and about half of it animated because I was the only person doing the animation, and then my daughter was born and my extra time went away. So
with the child, I can't imagine.
Right, and it's finally gotten to the point to where I can do it the way I want to do it because equipment has gotten cheap and accessible, and it's not going to cost me an arm and a leg to get it done.
Right.
So,
unlike you, I just saw, and I'm always fascinated by this. How many 16mm films have you shot?
When I went to the New York Film Academy, I directed and edited 3 in a month, and crewed on 13 others, and they were shot on the Arri S. And black and white 16mm reversal, edited on Steambeck. And back then, I was doing VCR to VCR editing.
Oh, jeez.
Right. And I had a computer, but my capture card at the time, this is back in 1999, my capture card created a kernel fault in Adobe Premiere. So what I would have to do is I couldn't preview my clip. So I'd have to blow it up and look at my clip at a frame at a time.
Oh.
So editing was seriously like taking film.
It was pulling it out.
God.
Right. So I remember when I went to go edit my films, I would, you'd have 2 or 3 days to do it.
You'd cry first for an hour or two.
I get it done in 3 hours, like on the Steambeck.
Right.
Because I've been so used to doing it that way, looking at it a frame at a time. I get it done, I'm like, I couldn't have been done this quick.
Right.
And then everyone would be like, how'd you do it? This is so hard. It's like, no, man, this is great. I'm not having to, this is so easy. But yeah, then we would, I DP'd a few, and I acted in a few, and I did assistant camera on a few, and then when I got to college, I had a friend who was in a 16mm class before me, and they didn't really tell them how to use their equipment, so I helped on his movies.
Oh,
so,
no.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Any nostalgia for anything that 16mm can bring to?
No.
Okay.
No, like I understand people liking, it has a little bit of a softness and a little bit of a flicker to it. I get that. But it's also, to me, it's akin to someone just saying, hey, you know what? I'm only going to drive a steam-powered car.
Right.
It's a tool.
And there are people that would do that, and those are
his name's Jay Leno.
People I don't like. Well, yeah, he does have one, doesn't he?
Right. But it's one of those things where it's a tool.
Right.
Tell your story with the best tool possible. And for some people that's film, but I also think that, trying to, I don't want to say bully, but trying to keep people using an old technology just because of some nostalgic feelings for it might be a little misplaced. But then again, film is also better for archiving, because right now we don't have a good way of archiving digital. But then on the other hand, instead of people having to worry about, we have to strike another print if a theater wants to rent an old film, now that everything's cataloged digitally, you have more movie theaters, more big theaters showing old prints.
Yeah, I've noticed that, because especially when they can send them to you. When I was working at Lowe's, they got in one digital printer, and at first projector, you're right. And at first they would actually send us a disc. And then about 3 months later, somebody wised up and went, wait, can't we just stream that to them or send it to them? And then we would just get an email, and it was a rather large email, but essentially you got basically an email that just went just to that computer, and it would download, and then you have that. And so you could keep stuff, but they could also remotely delete it. So like, let's say your time was up, or the theater wasn't paying for that print anymore. But what happened, something like when we ran Pearl Harbor, we had, I think, like 4 prints of that. Well, it ran
classic
in...
Pearl Harbor.
The classic Pearl Harbor. But it was running in 9 theaters at one point, you know? And so we had to do this looping process where as soon as it comes out of one machine, you give it a little bit of slack and you immediately run it through another machine, and then you immediately run it through another machine. So there were 3 theaters in a row that were like, 17 seconds off from each other, all running the same print. Well, when one of those snapped, 3 theaters went down.
Right.
And what's cool about the digital one is, you're just like, well, just copy it over. We need another print of that.
And it's great to see that since they're not having to make physical prints and ship them anymore in giant canisters, that film prices have gone down. Yeah. Right.
Oh, I remember having to put those together. Pulling out 6 tins and sitting there and chopping them, and oh my gosh! No, now you just hit download, and then you hit, an automatic auto deletes when you're done. And I gotta admit, I do miss splicing in the penises, the one frame of penis throughout all the kids' movies. But other than that, it was great.
I do remember when digital projection first came out, and theaters started to charge more because it's digital and it's a new technology. And okay, I get it, you have to pay for your new equipment.
Yeah.
And now that's like 95% of theaters are all digital, and the price is still the same because you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I saw Monsters, Inc. was the first one I think I ever saw digital, and there was a comparable difference. I mean, not that one didn't look better than the other, but there was a difference between a digital print and then the celluloid print that I went and saw, and I don't know which one I enjoyed better because especially as a digitally rendered film, that's a little bit different than if I saw like The Great Escape digitally done, So, but it was fascinating to see.
Oh, what was the movie that Tarantino saw that they were showing at Cannes, and he was like, "This is the worst thing ever," because it was an old western. It was the grand scale, and it was in digital. And he said, "Why am I just at home watching this on a DVD? Because it's no different." Than
right. He calls it TV in public.
There you go. Yeah.
My first one was Jurassic Park 3.
Oh, wow.
That was my first digital film.
What a shame.
I don't remember.
But I do remember going to the Chinese theater.
With William H. Macy?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't remember which one you're...
Correct.
Oh, okay.
I remember Jurassic Park 3, unfortunately.
It's a classic.
I prefer it to Jurassic World, or no, Jurassic Park 2, whatever it was.
Yeah, none of one of those I really care about.
We can, I think, as a society, just agree that it's like Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Jurassic Park 3, and The Lost World. Like, that's the hierarchy, right, in terms of quality.
Yeah, for me, it goes Jurassic Park 1, Jurassic World, the Lego Jurassic video games, the Jurassic World Lego video games, all the Lego Jurassic sets,
and then the Jurassic Park toys that have the dino damage.
Any spoof or parody anybody did. Anything that Leno or David Letterman did to spoof it.
Velociraptor porn.
Velociraptor stuffed dolls of dinosaurs, and then would be Lost World and the third one there.
And Tyrannosaurus thrown in there somewhere.
I think I'm the only one that prefers the third one over the second one.
All the episodes of DuckTales would come before the last two as well.
Well, that's right after Jurassic World for you, so that doesn't count.
It's DuckTales, right, straight up. So, well, we are going to take a quick break. Matt, you going to stay with us for a little bit? Okay, cool. Because we're going to come back and do What's in the Box. That we can do a nice crossover with the Assassination City Girls. We're going to get them all in here. We're going to jam-pack this room with sexiness and a few ladies. So we're filling this up. We're going to be listening to I Won't Go. This is one of my favorite local bands, Dead Flowers. I really like these guys. They came on the show back when it was the Del OL show, and I've always really enjoyed them. So I want you to enjoy them as well. Or fuck off. Fun Time Good Show on Deep Ellum on Air.